Hello aspirants and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. We move ahead with our economic survey chapter wise series with chapter number 12, that is employment and skill development. Now this chapter is very important with respect to achieving our demographic dividend. I'll tell you how we can do that, but first let us understand what is demographic dividend. So the demographic dividend, this term is coming from the fact that India is a very young population. How is that? Let us have a look. So if you talk about India's potential demographic dividend, which is based on the fact that India is a young population. Why? Because when you have a young population, you have huge number of people in the working age group. And because of that, you can reap dividends from your demography, means profits, benefits from your population. And that is the demographic dividend, which is coming from the young age of the Indian population. So how young is India? Let us have a look. So if you talk about China, this here is China. And if you are looking at round about 2025, so let us look at 2025 and close to this. So this is the line that we can draw for 2025. So China, the average age of China here is over 40. It is somewhere over 40. So China is around 40. If you look at Japan, Japan is a very elderly or very old country in the sense that its average age is about 50. What about India? Where is India? India is this one. India is this one. This one? Yes. So we are above 30, slightly above the 30 mark, around 32, 33, around 33. So an average Indian is 33 years old. That means a huge number of people in the working age population, right? That is why we can reap the demographic dividend, but not necessarily. Why? Because see, population is an issue. Too much of population is an issue for the economy if that population is not productive. So how to make the population productive? In population, you add education, you add skill development, then this population gets converted into human resource. So when you convert your population into human resource, the population becomes productive, and that's when you can reap the benefit of the population. So that is exactly what we have to do. Now, what further is happening in India is infant mortality and life expectancy. If you look at it, they both are improving in the sense that mortality, infant mortality is going down, whereas life expectancy at birth is going up. So in 2011, infant mortality was 44 per thousand, right? That means if you look at it, 4.4 per 100, and 0.44 per 10 or 0.044. So you don't have to look at this number. Generally it is calculated per thousand. So it's 44 infant deaths per thousand birth. If you look at now, that has reduced to 28, which is a very healthy, which is a better number. Of course, we want to put it to 0. Anything which is related to accidents, deaths, etc., the only target that can be there is 0, is what we should strive for. Now coming to the life expectancy, it has increased from 66.5 to 70 years. So in this count also we are doing well, and since we are a very young population, that is why our dependency ratio is going to go down. So if you can see the total dependency ratio from 66, it has gone down to 54. Why is that the case? That is the case because we are a young population. So total dependency has gone down. Sorry, the total dependency ratio has gone down. So what is dependency ratio? The number of dependents upon the total population. Now, what is the size of working age group? It's huge. Of course, at the same time, it is increasing. So if you look at, of course, the population is increasing, but the working population is also increasing. This is the total population which is on the rise. But at the same time, is the working age reducing? No, it is also consistently increasing. And it will keep on increasing for some time now because of the young nature of our population. If you talk about the usual status of age 15 and above people in the annual labor market indicators, you will realize this is also doing well. What is this LFR and WPR? LFR is labor force participation. So labor force participation has increased. Working population ratio, so WPR has also increased, and UR, that is the unemployment rate, has gone down. Labor force participation rate means how many people are participating in the labor force, means how many people are looking for job divided by the total population. Working ratio means, working population ratio means the number of people who are actually working divided by the total population. And then you have the unemployment rate. What is the unemployment rate? The rate of people who want to work, willing to work, are able to work but are not able to find the job divided by the total population. Now, urban unemployment rate, if you see that urban unemployment, what is happening? So the overall unemployment rate has gone down, but if you look at the urban unemployment rate, even the urban unemployment rate is on a decline. So your total unemployment rate is here, but urban employment rate is higher than the rural one, but even that is also declining. I hope that is clear. And that decline is seen even though the labor force participation is increasing. That means more jobs are actually being created. It is not that labor participation is going down, that is why unemployment rate is going down. No, the labor force participation rate is increasing, but still the unemployment rate is going down. That means the economy is now producing more jobs than it is taking away. So we can safely say that there is no longer a jobless growth in India. Now, if you look at category wise employment trend, then the self-employment has increased, the casual employment has gone down, whereas regular wage employment sort of increased, decreased, and then stabilized. Okay. Self-employment has increased. So what you can probably conclude is this casual labor which is going down is getting converted most probably into the self-employment because of various schemes of the government where they provide microfinance, Stand Up India, Mudra Yojana, etc. to create job givers rather than job seekers. And it is very clear that this is happening because the overall unemployment rate is going down. That is why it is not that these casual laborers are becoming unemployment. They are, a lot of them are, but a lot of them are also getting converted into entrepreneurs. Now this decline which was there, it gives the reasoning that these were pandemic years. However, if you see, self-employment has increased, casual labor has gone down. If you look at state-wise female rate participation, this is the change from 17-18 to 23-24. The entire nation, which was so colorful with respect to red and orange color, in the sense that lower numbers of labor force participation has been converted completely into green. That means higher labor force participation. And the change is huge. If you look at the state of Rajasthan from 19 to 38, it is exactly double. Gujarat 15 to 36, more than double. You look at Madhya Pradesh from 23, such a high base, to 39, it's very good. From 24, again a high base, to 32, it is good. Then if you look at the South Indian states also, all of them at a very high base, a base of 20, 27, 34, still they are continuously increasing. And then you have Andhra Pradesh and Telangana also increasing subsequently, and every other state that is depicted here in numbers have seen an increase. Now we are also having better safety standards in industries, so reducing the deaths, reducing the accidents, and the industrial injuries which are fatal have gone down, though by a slight amount, but has gone down. Industrial injuries which may not be fatal has also gone down. In fact, it has gone down drastically. It has less than half in around 10 years. Now, the final thing that the economic survey in this chapter talks about is very, very interesting. A lot of people have come forward and said that people should work more. I think Mr. Narayan Murthy has also said that these many number of hours, and there were a lot of debates that started happening that yes, you should, no, you should not, this, that, everything. Now, what does the economic survey says? Economic survey also nudges us or wants us to work more, which is very clear with the entire graphics and the content that they have given over here. So They are talking about the cap on average weekly working hours across some countries. So in India there is a cap of 48 hours, right? In India there is a cap of 48 hours. Now the cap is there in other countries also, but the other countries, the economic survey says that the other countries can, even it over a period of months or quarters or years also. But in India, it has to be every week itself. What do I mean by this? By this, I mean that in India, there cannot be any week wherein you are asked to work for more than 48 hours, because 48 hours is the weekly limit. But if you take, for example, a country like Germany, 48 hours a week, or some other country which also has 48 hours a week. Now what happens in that country, if there is an urgent requirement in any of the industry to have more labor to do more production, they will ask, and they can ask their employees to, let's say, work for 60 hours. So what has happened? 12 hours of extra work has done. Now this 12 hours of extra work which they have made their employees to do, they can offset this work next week by making their employees to work only for 36 hours. That means in the first week they have worked for 60 hours. In the second week they have worked for 36 hours. So a total is 96. So over a period of 2 weeks it averages down to 48. So that is a very efficient and smart utilization of the labor. But in India, the law does not allow that evening up of the number of hours. Now, economic survey is favoring that it should be allowed to even up. It should be allowed, you should be allowed to work more. The other side of the story could be, we are human beings. So human beings, it's not like power generation. Power generation means what? Evening up the power. If I use more this month, I may use less next month and my bill will be equalized. In fact, even the governments of the state don't do that. Because if you go up to a certain limit, the per unit cost is more. So if I reduce it the next year, will you give me less? You are not giving. That is one thing. But it's not just that, that's not even the point. The point is, can I eat too much now and then not eat for 1 week? No, we are human. We need consistency. We need rest. It is not a machine. So probably that kind of a thing is not understood here. However, the economic survey would argue that 48 hours is still very less. So there is a scope for certain increase in the number of hours. So there can be a huge debate going across around this as well. And you can expect a question in your mains around this particular topic. Right now, a reason which they has given us is to work more is, if India work, presently India is quarterly limit of overtime. Quarterly limit of overtime is 75 hours. So every quarter the total extra time the person can work is 75 hours, and the rate is 200 rupees. So Indian is earning only 10,000, whereas it is saying in United States there is no limit. So people are working for longer duration. So an average American USA citizen is earning 44,882 rupees extra. So it is saying that an Indian is losing this opportunity to earn more money, is what the economic survey says. So now I leave this upon you. You can mention in the comment section or get back to us to have further discussion, write an answer to this. I'll give you a question for this to which you can write answer and submit it across so that feedback can be given. What that thought you have to do is, what should be done? Should we move ahead with this or should we not? I hope the unevenness is understood. So the question can be here. Write down the question. The question can be, the maximum number of hours per week allowed in India to be worked is 48, with no scope for evening the number of hours in months. This results in low productivity and slowed economic growth. Critically analyze. Critically analyze. So this is your question. You can go through that question again and write an answer of just 10 marks, 150 words, and come up with your thoughts on that. Now, moving ahead, skill development. Increase in the share of workers receiving vocational and technical training. That is definitely the case. The government has done quite well when it comes to skill development. You can see there is huge linear but huge amount of increase in skill development for males, females and people in general. Now, the government has also come up with the AI pyramid. What is the AI pyramid? Developing the skill of the people with respect to this AI pyramid. What is that? Having huge amount. In fact, all the people should have foundational skills about artificial intelligence, every single Indian citizen. Then some specific group who can cater for industrial tasks and all should have intermediate level skill, and for the top roles and leadership there needs to be advanced skill in artificial intelligence. These are the tiers of skilling for the workforce which the government has planned. So this was all about the skill development chapter. The last chapter would be on artificial intelligence, which will be a very interesting one. So stay tuned with Legacy IAS Academy. Thank you.